y'all. Hi, Boo Boo. Welcome. Welcome, everyone, to It Takes a Village with Jess every Sunday. Welcome. Thank you. Hi, Spicy. Welcome, everyone, to It Takes a Village with Jess every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Hey, Chosen. Curly, I see you. Teddy, hi, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's been a while. It's been a while. Hi, everyone. Damn, we all pulled up for real. Pull up. Hi, everyone. Hi, welcome. Listen, we have an amazing show today. We actually have It Takes a Village Military Edition. So this one is kind of close to my heart. I might be vulnerable today. So we have two amazing guests. We have Rah and we have TrU KiNg. So if you guys know, he is a featured, my featured side host over here. His show actually just finished. He has, by the way, one of my favorite shows, True Experience. His show just finished actually at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So I was all teary-eyed. He just had some amazing guests. He had Keeks on there. Then he had Atlanta, I think, the ATL. Man, I was all teary-eyed. I had to go fix my makeup like always. ATL. Yes, I had to go fix my makeup, then run in here. So yes, hi Ruby. Listen, as you guys know, in the beginning of the show, I can't say hi to everyone. All right. I can't say hi to everyone. So I get to say hi to you guys in the beginning of the show. So hi, everyone. Hi, I love you. Thank you. So I get to say hi now before I start crying. So you guys have your tissues ready? You love me? You guys have your tissue? Who got money? I get to say it now before the show starts. Welcome everyone. Thank you guys for pulling up. I don't get to put up my flyer for some reason. It keeps knocking my flyers out. So if you guys don't get to see my flyer, it's because for some reason they put the time on, so it won't let my flyer go on. So I have to go get my flyer redone. So that's why you guys get to see my photo up. So yes, unfortunately, but thank you guys for pulling up. I appreciate you guys. If you guys see the wheels, thank you guys so much. Everyone that knows me knows that every time somebody sends a wheel, I always say, you love me? Who got money? So so welcome everyone to It Takes a Village with Jess. This is my baby. I always say there is no perfect book, How to Be the Perfect Parent. If you guys are ever interested in being on my show, you don't have to be a parent. We were all children. We all had parents. And even if we didn't have a parent, we all have a story. So if you guys are interested in being on my show, just hit me up on my Instagram. It's linked on my bio. So favorite me and it's on there. So once again, welcome. No gift is ever unseen. The show is recorded, so please be on your best behavior. I have bouncers on here. Do not block your blessing. They're very overprotective with me. This is a safe place. This is my home. This is your home. So no trolling, please. Please be respectful to my guests. I do not play when it comes down to my guest. So with that being said, enjoy the show. These people are sharing part of their lives. I do not play with that. They're being vulnerable, but I don't have to worry about that because this is a safe haven for everybody. So, yes. So there you go, rate me. So there you go. You blocked your own blessing. So you're going to be my prime example of what it is to block your blessing. So bam, you're going to be kicked out of my stream. So there you go. So, all right, y'all. Welcome to It Takes a Village with Jess. So today we have Rah and TrU, and we're going to be talking about what it is being a parent in the military. And I am actually going to be sharing my story. I've never talked about my story. So, yeah, it's going to be vulnerable, and let the show begin. So, once again, please be respectful, and let's introduce my first guest. Rah, are you ready, boo? Let's go. Welcome, Rah.
What's going on? Hey,
Hi, Rah. How are you?
I'm all right, yourself? A little
Good.
nervous. I'm here.
Are you nervous?
Yeah, like always.
No, I
So,
know you lying. Look at the beard. It's the beard for the ladies, huh? If you guys don't know Rod, tell everybody a little bit about you. Where can they find you streaming?
on Tuesdays, I do an open mic night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Everyone's welcome with poetry, rap, and singing. Uh, there's an open outlet for people to get their talent out there. Also, Wednesdays and Thursdays, I do a Get Fit with Rah. I do a fitness stream. So if y'all want to get fit, we in there.
All right. Hey. First and foremost, Ra, thank you for your service. If you guys don't know, Ra was in the military. So I just want to start this off by saying thank you. So
So,
thank you. So I always start everybody off who's in my stream by saying I was a young mom, right? I was 21 years old. How old were you when you first became a parent?
mm, I was turning 19.
Ooh, 19. And how many children do you have?
I have four, two girls, two boys.
All right. I only have one. And my village was my grandmother when I became a single mom. And as I got sick, like everybody knows, my mother became my village. So my village always changed. How about you?
Um, my village was actually my dad, my mom. Uh, my mom was there actually because when I first had my kid, I was into the streets.
Hmm.
I was playing high school football and I was waiting to go to college, but I was into the streets. So I wound up was like found out graduating. Was having my daughter. I was like, oh, I can't be doing this, and I was like, all right, I'm going to the service, right?
Uh-huh.
So I wound up going to the service because my daughter changed my life. So actually, she made me who I am. You know, that was my firstborn. My daughter was like, "Yeah, you need to tighten up what you're doing." So it
So
was actually a blessing.
aw, so tell me a little bit about that. So that's your story. So you were in the streets and then you realized that you had to make a change. So tell me your story then. So that's how you ended up going into the military, was your daughter. That's who made your change.
Yeah,
All right.
100%. Um, yeah. So my daughter, she was like, and another blessing. She came on my birthday. So my firstborn on my birthday. Yeah, we got to make this right. You know. So I had to step out and do something right because it wasn't just me no more that I had to fend for. I had something else to protect, you know, and provide for. So I definitely had to go somewhere and do something better with my life than other being in the streets because it was only leading to two things: jail or death. You know.
So what made you choose out of all things rather than just typically go to work? Like me, I went straight to work when I had, my son. I had to drop out of college. So you went, what made you go right into the military? What made you choose military? What was that first thought?
Honestly, I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know. My dad asked me that too. I was like, man, I said, I had seen the recruiter. I had talked to him, and he came to the school. He came to the school one day, and I was like, you know what? There it is. I'm going there. You know, I said that's a good out. That's a good out. Because my father always said like this: uh, your homeboy's still gonna be here, no
Mhm.
matter what. If they out here, they're gonna be here when you come back. Watch.
Mm.
That was a fact. He never lied about that.
And how was life going into the military, then having your daughter? Like what was that like?
It was. It was rough. I ain't even going. I'm gonna be honest. It was rough because, you know, you having a. I was there for the birth, but I
Mhm.
was gone shortly after. You know, so it was kind of hard doing the boot camp. But I knew what the greater goal was at the end of the day, so I kept focused and pushing myself to. It's not just for me no more. It's for her. Let's go. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. She came to my graduation. My daughter was there at my naval graduation. She was a baby though, but you know she was there,
Uh-huh.
and I was. It was a proud moment, you know.
Yeah.
But then we was on to a new journey that made it even scarier.
I have a question. So one of my questions here was, how was it trying to be strong for the family while you were in the military and the family was in the civilian world?
Say that one more time.
So like so were you ever like deployed,
Hmm.
or so
Yes.
my one of my question, right, was what how was it trying to be strong for the family while you were in the military and then your family was in the civilian world?
Um, actually knowing what was going on actually kept me focused. It definitely was hard, but at the time my service was 9/11 had recently happened.
Mm,
So the perception of I need to protect homeland. So I was
mm.
at war. Let's go. Because this can't touch my family back at home because then it'd be worse off, you know, losing them too.
Interesting. And I was going to say, did you, and a lot of these questions, right, where some people wanted to know this too. Did you feel like you missed out on your kid's life, and was the sacrifice worth it?
I feel like I did, honestly, because you missed out on a lot of the growing days. Sometimes the first walk on some of my kids, I missed the first walk, you know, because I wasn't there. I was
Hmm.
somewhere else. And if you and the mother not married, they can't come with you. So at the end of the day, being the the parent that don't have the kid, you gonna miss out on a lot, and that's hard. Honestly, you got to be there as much as you can because a kid don't understand until they get older.
So how did you get over, or what did you, so for those that are actually going through it or those that went through it, how did you get mentally, how did you get over it?
Um, that's something you still don't get over because some of your kids may not feel certain, still might feel some type of way, but long as you get to explain to them so they get to understand.
Hmm.
And like one of my son, he has two military parents, so both of his parents was like this that. So I know his life is was all distort, but we kept him busy in something that he loved. You know, right now he playing college ball
Hmm.
because we set him up even though we were able to try to be stationed on the land because he went back and forth between us. If she had to deploy, he had to come with me. And if I had to deploy, he went with her. So, you know, so sometimes in life as a military parent, when there's two military parents, you get to be able to be there for some, and some of it you might miss a lot,
Hmm.
especially if it depends on your job too, and if you got to go out the country, and that's a big thing if you're not married to the other parent.
Yes, absolutely. um I used to say that all the time. Welcome everyone to It Takes a Village with Jess. This is Ra. We're talking about life in the military and raising your child. If you have questions, definitely keep it to the end. We'll have him and you guys can ask some questions. Um, these are some hard questions, guys, and I only know because my son's father was in the military and I was engaged to someone in the military, and life was hard. And I will talk about my experience also being on the other side of that, which I've never spoken about ever. So I'm actually going to let you in. I'm kind of waiting until the end because I'll probably break down because I've never spoken about that as well. So Ra, do you have any regrets?
Mm. Phew. Honestly, it's rough because now, like at the end of the day, now that I'm retired
Uh-huh.
from the military, it's different. Now, not really, but during times, yeah, I
Yeah.
did have regrets because you miss special events and you wasn't there. So
Mhm.
it's kind of rough when you don't get that time. What about you miss it? I'm gonna tell you an important time because I had the same feeling as a kid. Was like, yo, my dad at my graduation, but my mom not there. And
Yep.
my heart was falling like my mother wasn't gonna make it. But guess what? My mother popped out of nowhere and she was there. And that lit my day up. So just about having the other parent there would change the concept of how the kid feel, you know? And you know, that happened to me with my son. And I popped out of nowhere on his ass. It's like, hey, I'm here, son.
I know, right? Because sometimes we do those sacrifices because you go in the military because financially you're going to be like, you get them the best medical, you get them, you provide for them financially, right? Because we're parents, you want to do financial things because the kids are not going to know what financially the world, they don't know financially like that they need health insurance, that they need a roof over their head, right? All they
Right,
want is their parents there, right?
right.
But then you think about when we were a kid, all we wanted was those hugs and their kisses and that, because at the end of the day, love is love. We just want that affection. We just want them present. So it's kind
Mhm.
of that balance that we want them present, then the financial aspect. And sometimes when we become the parent, we need to do that balancing act. And sometimes we have to choose our work first. And it's kind of this, right? And I
Right.
think sometimes that's the hard part about being a parent is which one do you choose? And that's the hard part. That is the tough part is
Definitely.
which one? Because
And
sometimes
and
money is not everything.
and most definitely time and it's something that we can't get back.
Yeah.
But I tell you this,
Mm,
kids won't understand it more until they get older. That's why I said that in the beginning. Because I got
exactly.
older kids. I got 21-year-old finna be 22. Right.
Mhm.
So and I got a 19 finna be 20. Then a 18 finna be 19. Then my youngest, she finna be 17. So it took time to get where we at. It's never easy from the beginning, you know. But don't stop. Don't stop. I don't care if your kid avoids you or you feel some type of way. Don't stop being that parent because that kid will understand eventually.
Mm,
But if you fall back and don't continue to be a parent, oh, everything that was out there before you is true.
I love that you said that. Don't stop. Because I think that's what the parents, they feel like they are defeated, that they already failed and they stop, and then that's when the kids become rebellious. So
Right.
another thing, right, and I don't know if you dealt with this because if you went to war or what, is
Mhm.
what advice do you have for other military dads dealing with PTSD from going to war?
Don't don't feel like you can't talk about it to
Mhm.
someone. Don't feel like you gotta openly share it to individuals, but don't sit here and bottle it up because what's going to do is going to eat you up. Especially if you like me and you live by yourself.
Mhm.
Who here to save you when you're going through all that? Who you going to talk to? What's going to lead your mind to thinking about not hurting yourself? You understand? Who you going to open up to? And just don't be so closed off because certain things trigger you, bother you all the time. Because I went through
Mm, I love that. And is having a family a reason to want to come home to? Like, is that like when you had a family, is that most people's reason to want to come back when they were overseas? Like some people, that was like somebody's question. They were like, when you have a family, is that your reason to fight, to want to stay safe, to that's your purpose, to want to come home safe? Somebody asked me, is that your purpose? Is that the reason why you want to fight to come home to? Someone asked me that when they said it was a military edition. They were like, is your family your reason? Is that your sole purpose, to make sure that you come home safely? Is that what you think about every time you go to war?
Yeah, family gonna be on your mind, number one, especially if you have a immediate family, which is your own, individually, besides parents and brothers and siblings. But yeah, it become the main reason you want to come home, because who want to hear their dad gone? Who want to hear that?
Do you think
Nobody.
about them constantly? I guess that was their question, is do you think about
Yeah,
them constantly when you're
yeah,
older?
but also is lines of communication that you can still talk to them. So you, it's not closed off where you can't talk to them, because in some places, like if you do have immediate family, you can bring them with you, but in war zones, no, you can't bring them with you. But yes, so you know that separation will go through your mind crazy, because you are talking to them and you can't get to them, right?
Okay.
That would bother you more.
Then the last question that somebody wanted to know was, what's your biggest adjustment from being away slash deployed to being home with your friends and your family, your kids and family?
What's the biggest what?
Adjustment from being away, right? And then you coming back to your family.
Mentally and physically, comes from you in a mental aspect. If you just came from war, there's a lot of trauma you going through dealing with that when you're trying to come home and get reacclimated to home with family and everything. So yeah, it is definitely tough. It's not easy. And so I say your mental would be the hardest thing to get to, because coming home to a family and you just witness murder, you just witness death, injuries, all these nightmares you probably having, waking up in the middle of the night, cold sweats, certain stuff like that. You
Texas
know,
wants to know, how did you deal with the sadness while you were away from your family?
um, wrote letters, listen to music, work out, openly try to talk to people, went to church. You know,
Oh,
you gotta keep your mind busy without hurting yourself. Thank you.
oh. You see that? So Ra, all right. So Ra, because you're giving me general questions and I want to know about you. Okay. So Ra,
Mhm.
how do you define home? What is home to you?
Um,
Yeah. What is your definition of home?
my definition of home is where I share a good bond with people I care about, the loved ones, siblings, family, kids. At the time if I had a significant other, that is where home at. But definitely being in the military, we have multiple homes, because we got to feel home where we at with the brothers that we here to protect, and sisters that we here to protect each other life. So home is definitely going to be two places at once for us, not just one.
Mhm. So that can be even in the military for you.
Correct.
Do you feel like being in the military kind of make you a little like thick skinned, a little bit cold hearted?
Now I changed how cold hearted I was. I used to have the nonchalant attitude, but yeah, it did not really care about what people say or think or do. Like, okay, really, I don't. It's like, okay, this is what you do. All right, I really don't care, but I'm gonna sit here and listen to you. But I warm my heart up a little bit more, because I had to do therapy, um, open up. I was closed off, you know,
Mhm.
because it ain't always easy to talk about certain things that you've been through in life,
Mhm.
you know, because why? This world is so judgmental, and you don't want to hear about what people got to say about you.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Welcome everyone to It Takes a Village with Jess. We have the amazing Rah. I hope that you guys favorite him. He's amazing, y'all. If you guys have not gone to his stream, make sure you guys favorite him. He is talking to us about his family, his life, him being in the military, him being parents. Yeah. So I have one last question.
Mhm.
So one thing too, if you knew then what you know about, so hold on, give me 1 second. So, okay, if you knew then what I know now, what would it be? Thank you, Boo.
Mm, I'm gonna be honest. Even though that I did finish my time, what I supposed to do, and put in work, I
Mhm.
think I would readjusted. I may not went to the military. Let's be honest, because I wouldn't have missed as much as I missed in life with my kids. It'd be a different because I was gone too much, and maybe hurt feelings and mending hearts wouldn't be so rough over the time, and I wouldn't have had to try to fix hearts and fix what's going on through the time. You know what I'm saying?
So
Because it
when,
wasn't easy.
so when you say mend hearts, are you talking about like mend hearts with the kids?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you think like the kids held a little resentments because you weren't there?
yeah. Most definitely, most definitely. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy because, like I was saying, how I felt when I was a kid. If my mother would have missed my graduation, I would have been hurt. You know, and it wasn't nothing I could do about it. I had to. Couldn't
Yeah.
change it.
I think like eventually, I think like once they get older,
Mm-hmm.
oh fuck you. Oh my god, sorry. God, I'm the feature thing. Oh, sorry, I got you got me. Oh man, sorry. My bad.
Yeah.
Oops. You got me. Ryan, you got me. My bad. We can edit that out, right? Ah, oops. My bad, you got me. My bad. I think take two. I think as a kid, don't kick the hostess. Right, you got me. I was
My
doing
bad.
good. Oh
Right,
my
you were.
god. I think oh, I was doing so good. God.
Mhm. You did.
Um I think as the kids get older, not the hostess. I think as the kids get older and they
Mm-hmm.
become parents of their own,
Mm-hmm.
and they become parents, Ra. And as long as you communicate with them, right? And I only know this because I held a lot of resentment towards my parents,
Mm-hmm.
like so much resentment towards my parents because they missed everything. They never went to my games, you know what I mean, because of their job. And I there was like so much hurt and anger. And I was just angry against the world. But then when I became a mom, and like I told you, there was a balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then when I became a mom, I realized that you had to choose between work and providing, and then having a good life, right? And there's
Right.
such a balance, and it's such a fine line whether what you're going to do. And
Right.
once you realize that it's such a fine line and you have to do what you have to do, they're going to realize that. And that anger will eventually go away. And once you can communicate, and like you said, as long as you never give up and that communication is there, Ra, I promise you that they're gonna sit down and talk to you, and they're gonna that anger, resentment is just gonna disappear.
Right. Right. Right.
So
No, most definitely. Let me tell you, I already been through the resentment, but the doors open back up. You understand me? And
yeah,
even
absolutely.
still as the younger one, she breaking through a shell, but you know how it go. It get rough,
Yeah,
but don't quit and continue to go see them,
absolutely.
fighting, because what you might not know is that kid is missing you and missing that. I'm like, so
Yeah,
don't.
it's just out of love and missing. That's all
Hmm.
it is. It's because they
That's
love
it.
you so much, they just miss you. And I know
Especially if
because.
they was already around you too. Especially if
Mhm.
they was around you, they know what you got to offer too, so they know who their daddy is, or they, you
Absolutely.
know what I'm
They
saying?
just love you so much that they just want you around. And I know because I speak from experience. But Rob, thank you so much. And stick around because I might add you back on with a panel with there because there's two more questions that I want you and True King to be back on. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys add Ra, and he broke me, y'all. I was trying so hard. So Ra, thank you so much, and stay tuned,
Okay.
please. Welcome
Yeah.
everyone to It Takes a Village with Jess, and he broke me, y'all. He broke. I tried so hard. I tried so hard. POF, don't kick me. I tried so hard. Welcome everyone to It Takes a Village. Stop it. Let's pretend that never happened. Oh my God, I slipped, y'all. I slipped. I got caught up in the moment. I got caught up. Welcome everyone to It Takes a Village with Jazz. I kind of before I had True King get in the box. No, I caught it up. I always do a daily affirmation or an affirmation in the middle. This is my daily or my affirmation for the parents. It's okay to fall apart. Ups and downs are a normal part of life. Sharing and showing my true emotions are healthy for both my child and myself. One more time. It's okay to fall apart. Ups and downs are normal parts of life. Sharing and showing my true emotions is healthy for both my child and myself. So, welcome y'all to It Takes a Village with just every Sunday at 2 p.m. And my next guest has his own featured show, y'all. He's a DJ on this app. So, y'all, please welcome True King. What's up, True King? How are you?
I'm chilling. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, so True, tell
Yes.
everybody where they can find you.
Normally you can find me on like the weekends. Like it's probably starting from like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then obviously a song on Sunday. But I just provide a safe space to play music, whether it be 80s, Prince, some polka music for some of my polka favorites. So, there's a quiet storm hour too, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But Afro beats, reggae, whatever, we put it all together, and we just have a good time, man. It's always a good place to be with positive energy. So it's a great thing.
Okay. And you forgot one last thing. Your
What's my
featured
Sunday
show.
show?
Okay.
My feature show is every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, right before It Takes a Village with Just. So, you know what I mean? It's always a great time over there. An amazing guest. Nay, who's my admin, she finds amazing guests. So, I appreciate all that. So it's always a good thing.
Perfect. Yes. Name. He always shouts out name. The best. Go ahead. You didn't say it. The best admin. Go ahead. You
The
forgot.
best, I mean, she is the best admin on the app.
There you
I mean,
go.
say less, man. Like what? Come on.
I was gonna say you didn't finish the
I
sentence.
ain't
The
got.
best
I don't have
admin.
to do nothing. I get a calendar and everything.
I was
All the
gonna say
things I
you didn't
gotta do.
say it.
I mean, it
All
is
right,
what it
y'all.
is.
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much. Welcome everyone to It Takes a Village with Jess every Sunday at 2 p.m. Thank you so much, Shu, for being on my show. I was shocked, y'all, because remember, his show was right before mine. So I am honored. So, with that being said, True,
Yes.
I was like you heard before. I was a young mom at 21. How old were you when you first became a father?
16.
Okay. And how many children do you have?
I have four.
Okay. And I have one for those who don't know. And my village, as you guys heard before, if you guys are just tuning in, my village was my grandmother. And as I got sick, it became my mother and my friends. Tell me a little bit about your village before I jump in to your story.
So I'm an only child. So really, my village, were my mom, my dad. I was real close with my aunts and uncles also at the time. So they were around when it all went down. But there's a bit more to that story of being a father at 16 because I technically wasn't a father, if that makes sense. So what that means is that someone got pregnant, they left, they went somewhere else because the person at the time, mom, did not like the fact that she was with a black man, and put it out there. So she moved her away and she left. Um, I found out that I had a son through a mutual friend that we had. Um, and it wasn't until many moons later, and mind you, I was 16, I was still finishing high school, went away for a year at college, and then I joined the military like soon thereafter. Like, so I was 18, 19 when I joined the military, and so it was difficult because it was, I don't know if you guys remember the white pages, right? But back in the day, right? I'm dating myself. Back in the day, white pages used to be online. So you can log in, not log in, but you could Google it or whatever, and you could put in a name. And there was probably like 50 names that I had to go through to find this person because I knew what state she was in. And I remember making the phone call, and the phone call went something like this: "Hey, is this so and so?" "Yes." "Did you go to such and such high school?" "Yes." "Do you have a friend so and so?" "Yes." Um, "Do you know who this is?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Look, I'm not trying to interrupt anything that's going on. Mind you, we're older now, so we're like in our 20s. So she's married, everything's going on, whatever." I said, "I just want to make sure that he's good. I want to make sure that everything, if you need anything from me, you can have it. All you have to do is ask." Um, I gave her an address. She sent me some pictures, and I didn't hear from her again. So um, that was my introduction to parenthood, right? So it was kind of crazy. So it didn't really make sense. So then my second daughter, but I'll let you ask your question. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no, no. That's actually, this is your, to tell everyone your story. So this is your story. So go ahead, tell your
Right.
story.
So my second child, I was in the military. So officially, this was the first kid. So it depends on how you look at it, right? But I was gone. By the time I got back, she was basically crawling, right? So like I wasn't there for the birth. I wasn't there for anything, but I was able to maintain my sanity through that because, um, again, these are folks that know things about the military. When you're on a ship out to sea back then, making a phone call was not an easy thing. You didn't have email, so whatever you did, you were sending the mail. You were sending mail. By the time that mail got there and got back, all the news that you have said had changed. So it was a different situation back then. But because of who I was and the job that I had direct access to the XO, or the captain. So the XO told I let him know he knew the situation. So I was able to make phone calls or get a phone call in if, when something was going on and when she basically went into labor and had the child. And my mom was there. So that was a good thing about that aspect of it. Right, the POTS line. So um, so then My third one came along. Um, I was This one was just different, um, because I was there for a lot of this stuff. Um, and for those that have kids and that are in relationships, it's a totally different experience when you're in that labor room and you're cutting umbilical cords and you're seeing this baby and you're hearing the baby cry, all sorts of different things. It's a different experience, so it hits different. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I think because I was so um, intertwined in the what was going on, right? That I probably I probably cried a little bit. I probably was a little bit sad, but I was scared. Um, but also, like, it was like this instant bond that I had with this kid. It was with my third daughter. So she's my third child. Um, so we instantly, like, that was my ride or die. There was nothing that nobody could do. And I think, like, it made my other kids jealous. You dig what I'm saying? Because, like, I wasn't there for certain things with them, but with her, it was always, whatever. If she's like, "Daddy, so and so did something," now who, what, where, when? Man, don't play with me. So it was different, man. So it was just, I don't know. I can't explain it, but I know her and I have a different relationship than the rest of my kids. And I'm not saying that I love them any less. I'm just telling you there's a different relationship.
It's different because you actually got to experience everything for
I
the
did.
first time.
Absolutely.
You got to see everything for the first time. Mm, hmm. Whew.
Hmm.
All right. So that was and then what about for the fourth? Were you
That was
there
three.
for the fourth? That was three.
I was not. I was deployed again.
You were deployed again.
I was
Okay.
deployed again.
So
Yeah. I was
just just like
deployed
with
again.
just like with Ra, I was gonna say, how was it trying to be strong for the family while you were in the military and they were in the civilian world?
Um, I don't know necessarily it was about strength. I think I felt like I had a duty, and I was given a purpose, because, like, I was there to protect my family, right? I didn't think about while I was deployed, um, all the foolishness that went on. I'll be honest with you. My mindset was so different because I was always trying to figure out what the greater good was, what I was doing when I was out there, right?
Hmm.
I wasn't trying to think about that or think about my family because I'm gonna be honest with you, it can become a distraction, right? Because you're worried about what's going on there. Once you start getting distracted, absolutely, this can this could, it's a live or die situation a lot of times. Right? I know that people truly don't understand it sometimes, but war in real life and war on TV is two different things. So please don't believe the hype of what you see on television. War in real life is something totally different. You are, you, I was boots on ground a couple times, right? And you have to understand, I was protecting myself, not knowing who the other person was. And just like them, they were protecting themselves, not knowing who I was. So I wasn't thinking, hey, what are they doing back at home? I was thinking, hey, what I'm doing is making sure that I'm protecting what's at home. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it was a different situation for me. So, and that was my mentality. My mentality was that I was protecting what I had at home. So, to make sure they did whatever they needed to do at the end of the
Absolutely. Welcome everyone to It Takes a Village with Jess. We have True King in the box talking about his life in the military and being a father as well. So make sure you guys hit him with a fave. We had the amazing Rah in the building as well. If you guys are interested in being on the show, make sure you guys hit me up. Make sure you guys hit me with a fave and let me know on IG if you're interested. You don't have to be a parent. We were all children. We all have a story, and we all have a village. So make sure you guys let me know if you're interested. Another thing is, do you feel like you missed out on the kids, and was the sacrifice worth it?
Man, that's a loaded question, to be honest with you. Do I feel I missed out on stuff? Absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Because I don't know for sure, but I'm saying that I could have had that same bond with all my kids if I was there. Um, was the sacrifice worth it? It's kind of like my show where I talk about a true experience. I have to ask myself, if I wasn't where I was at when that was going on, what would have turned out different? And if I what if myself too much, man, I'm gonna drive myself crazy. So I have to understand that the sacrifice I made was what was it was divine intervention for me. I was supposed to be doing that at that time for that reason because of how I'm wired. So I'm a natural protector. That's just who I am. So I can't I can't get away from that. So was it worth it? Um, it all depends on your mentality. It all depends on your mindset on what you think worth it is, because the person or the situation that I was handling at the time could have been someone that came here and did something that could have hurt my kids, could have hurt my family. I don't know. But that's not something that I live with. I don't live with them type of regrets. I just do what I have to do to protect those that I love.
Good answer. All right. So what's the hardest part about being a military father?
Um, I mean, I think Ross said it. It is the separation. Because you are a father, and you know, I will tell you that even with the relationship that I was in, I made sacrifices that were needed because there were words. Because I only have one son, and the rest girls. So I always had this mindset that, and I don't even remember where it came from, but one day it just came over me that I never wanted my daughters to say to me, Dad, so and so touched me. Where were you? Like instantly, it takes me, I'm in prison right now. I'm in jail. Because I'm telling you, that is not something that could be said to me because I already know my mentality and what I'm going to do. I already know. So, um, so again, those are the things that scared me. Um, being a girl dad, yeah, it's just not something that could compute with me. You know what I'm saying? So that was what was hard for me. That what was hard for me being away because you know I knew my uncles were there. I knew my dad was there. But they weren't with them 24/7. So I need to make sure. There's people that take advantage of those type of situations. What they would call an absentee father because I wasn't there, but I was there. They just didn't know I was lurking in the background. Because I'm telling you that if those words were ever uttered to me, we wouldn't be having this interview. I'm gonna let you know that right now. It just wouldn't happen. It wouldn't have went down that way. So that's where we're at with that.
Welcome everyone to Take the Village with Jess. We got TrU KiNg in the box. All right. So and one more, I think two more questions right before we ask Rod to come back in. I guess is what advice do you have for other military dads dealing with PTSD?
I mean,
Right.
I'm gonna go with what Rob said. If you feel some sort of way, talk to somebody. I'm not saying that you have to go to a therapist, but I will tell you that I'm big into meditation. So A lot of my meditation has to deal with self-reflections and understanding stuff, and understanding how my mind works and how it can wander. Um, PTSD is a real thing. I mean, the crazy thing is it doesn't just happen to military members, right? They have to understand that PTSD affects anybody and everybody across the board, depending on what you dealt with. You could have been in a car accident, you got PTSD from that. You could have been something could have happened to you as a child, you could have PTSD from that. So there's so many different things that PTSD touches. But for me, I say make sure you talk to someone, you know, even if it's a friend. If you don't want to see a therapist because you have this thing about therapists and so on and so forth, then um, talk to a friend.
Yes,
The
Ruben.
reason why I have issues with therapy, right, is this. I remember when I first got my first tour in Iraq, I came back and they were like, hey, you need to go see this person because it's part of the decompression aspect of being in a war zone. And the person that I went to just got out of the Navy Academy 6 months ago. I was like, we're sitting there talking. I'm explaining stuff to her. I'm talking to her. And I'm like, you can't help me with anything. You ain't even been in the Navy long enough to know what war is. How are you going to tell me what I need to do with what I've been through? So I'm a firm believer of helping to get help from someone. I need to be able to trust that you know what it is that you're doing, right? You wouldn't take workout advice from a fat dude, would you? I'm just saying. Listen, that's just not gonna happen, man. You have to be able to prove to me that you understand what it is that I've gone through and what I'm dealing with. And if you can do that, then yes, we can have a conversation. But I rather talk to peers, people like Rob, because Rob's been through it. So we can share experiences and we can talk about it. And that's another reason why I have my show, right? Because I get people to talk about things that they don't normally get to talk about, and it's important to them that they are able to get it out. So that's what I do.
Love it. All right. And then the last question before I had Ra. And I agree. And the reason why I asked that is my cousin was in the military, and I remember having to go to the restroom or walk by him, and I knew that he was in combat, and I know I couldn't walk by him without letting him know, or I knew I couldn't use the restroom or even walk, because if you walk by him, he would literally like choke you out. And it wasn't him, it was just because he went to war, and if he got woken up, he was so scared that he thought he was still in war. It was a trauma. And I remember one day walking by him, and he legit put me in a chokehold, and I had to be like, cuz it's me. And he legit I thought I was gonna die. Then he started crying. He's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I forgot to warn you that it was me. And then fireworks,
Right.
crying on the floor. He was taking cover. And it was all about talking, and it was the trauma, and those are things that we had to talk about as a family. And those are things that certain people just, they're afraid to talk about, or they're embarrassed to talk about, of the things that has happened. And that's why I think men supporting men is so important. And I'm key about men supporting men, that, like what True said, it's good to talk about other soldiers. And even men supporting, like, I don't know what it is, it's so powerful when men support each other, you know. So one more thing, True. What's the biggest adjustment from being away, like deployed, to coming home with your kids and your family? So you were deployed, then
Regiment.
all of a sudden now. Huh?
Yeah. So it was the regiment, so you're very structured when you're deployed. There's certain alarms, there's certain sounds, there's certain things that you understand and that you deal with. Um, if I share a quick story with you, my first tour again, when I got back, I came home. I remember sitting in my living room. It was dark in my living room. The TV wasn't on. I was just sitting there. I don't even know why. But I remember my daughter coming in and saying, "Dad, why are you sitting in the dark? You all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." And then I was like, "You know what? I want some cereal." Right? So I got up and I went to the grocery store to go get some cereal. When I got to the grocery store, I got in the cereal aisle and broke out in a sweat and started basically hyperventilating. My chest, I felt like it was on fire. I did not know what was wrong. I left. I left the store. When I went and explained this to a therapist, what I was told was this: I was overwhelmed by the amount of cereal that was in that store at that time, because what I'm used to was just Kellogg's, and it had no other type of cereal. That's all that was there, right? When you had Pops, you had cornflakes, you had Rice Krispies, and you had something else. I don't even remember what it is. But that was all the cereal choices. So you get a regiment that you're stuck on that rotation that you're doing stuff, and um, all those type of things. It takes a hold on you. It takes a hold on the family, and I will tell you that anybody that's dealing with somebody that has that type of trauma or was in the military and deployed, um, you have to be able to see the warning signs. You got to be able to talk to these people. My ex at the time could care less. She didn't know. She didn't realize it. She didn't see it. She didn't say anything about it. And my behavior, you know, caused troubles that ultimately led us to getting a divorce, because I was like, "You don't care what's going on with me. I don't care about what's going on with you. I'm good. Let's go." And but my kids, I was always dad, and I think that's what kept me grounded was my kids. I think the things that stopped me from doing the things to harm myself or whatever the case may be was always because of my kids, because of my mom, because of my dad, because I'm an only child, and the big family support that you have around you keeps your mind grounded to where you're just like, look, I can't. There's bigger things than me that I have to be able to focus on. Like I didn't matter, but my kids did. And again, it's a regret that I knew that I wouldn't be able to live with if I did something and now my kids are without me. So I made sure that I I rocked out with it to make sure that they had what they needed from me, and not what was important. They didn't get asked to be brought into this world. I brought them in, so it was my job to make sure that I stuck around to protect them.
Oh, we're happy you did, huh? That's for sure. So, if you knew then what you know now, what would it be, True?
What do you mean? Would I change anything?
Yeah, if you knew then, like the older True, which if you knew then what I know now, what would it be? So the older True, what would you tell the younger True?
Duck.
Like,
I don't know. I mean, listen, I would have. There's so many things that I would be able to tell. Maybe I'll give them the winning lottery numbers. I don't know, but like the younger True was a knucklehead. He was hard headed. He didn't listen to nobody. I'm gonna be honest with you. So me as the older True trying to talk to him because I know who I was, I probably still wouldn't have listened. I still would have done what it is that I wanted to do. I was just bad, yo. I don't even know what to tell you. I was hard headed. But um, if anything, I would tell him to pace himself. And if he listened to me, he listened to me great. But I'd absolutely tell him to pace himself, and be easy and think about the things. Make sure that he thinks about the decisions he's making and what they're doing.
okay,
Man,
fair enough.
I don't know. Older True is, I don't know. He might be. I mean, y'all tell me. I don't know. The older True might be a knucklehead too. I don't
Yeah, I think he is. See, me, I would say that I'm enough for my child. I've done right by him, so that would be mine. I'm enough. I would tell younger Jess that you're enough, because I always felt like I wasn't. And it's funny because, like I said, so most of you guys don't know, but my son's father was in the military, and I waited for him. So it's funny because I hear the men out there and saying that they came home to the family and went through all that. And for me, my life changed, and I raised a son and I waited. And I think I told True this, but I was waiting, and my life changed, and I raised my son, and my soldier just never came back to me. Like, he came back with another soldier, another woman. So it's funny because um as I raised my son and and took care of the finance and held down everything in the civilian world, right? And while he was at war, um he never came home to me. So I was faithful. I did everything and held down the house, and put him on that plane and listened, did the phone calls and everything, and that man just never came home. And then when he finally did come home, he came home with a whole different life. And that killed me. And I've been single since. And I don't know if that caused damage or what, but that was a rough one for me. And so it's always a double standard, right? And I think True and Ra saw that. Ra, you can join the box. That's always a double one, right? Because you always see either the men cheat in the military on their family or the women cheat. So it's either or. So you never, and this one, the military edition, was really tough for me. So yeah, so that for me was really, really hard for me. One thing for you guys, how would you like to be remembered? Oh, True, did I say what is home for you? What's home for you?
Anything can be home for me. I mean, as long as I'm surrounded by the people or the things that bring me joy, I can make home anywhere. It doesn't matter where it is or what it's about. I think home is more of a feeling than a place. So I have to be able to feel it to let me know that I'm home. That it's a comfortability thing for me, right? Because you're just not comfortable anyway. You know how it feels to go to a hotel, live out a suitcase. That's definitely not home, right? You know what it is to live out a tent in a Connex box. That ain't home because that doesn't feel safe to you. But the place that you find the most solitude, the place that you feel most comfortable, the place that brings you joy, that's home.
Mhm. Okay, all right. So one question for both of you guys is, how would you guys like to be remembered in your children's eyes?
For
Um,
me, yeah,
again, yeah, go ahead, bro. No, you're good.
um, understood and respected, and never let them down. When they thought I let them down, you know what I'm saying? I was
Mhm.
always there when they think I wasn't there. I was there.
Mhm.
You know.
Okay, that's a good one.
I mean, I think again, I think that's just one of those things, right? And Ross said it. I would want to be remembered by my kids as always being there for them when they needed me the most. I mean, that I was there when nobody else was, that they could always rely on me no matter what it was, the cost. Um, that they knew dad. was gonna make everything better. So at the end of the day, mm, I'm simple. I just want to be remembered for being a good parent and proud of my kids. So um, they know that I was proud of them and that I love them. That's it.
That was dope. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for your service. You guys are amazing, Dad. Seriously, man. Thank you guys for your service. Thank you guys for being part of my show. It takes a village with Jess. Seriously, 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 man. It is not easy being in the military, sacrificing your family, sacrificing what you guys did for your country. Like, yo, salute. You guys
Appreciate
really
you.
are amazing. Anything you guys want to add? Anything that's coming up that you guys want to plug in? You guys favorite these amazing men. I just want to say thank you guys for being vulnerable and thank you guys for being part of my show. I know this is not a easy subject to talk about. I almost broke down. You guys broke me down. And I just let you guys in a little bit in my life. So anything?
I
Anything
want
you
to
would
Um,
thank you.
tell people?
Yeah, go ahead, True.
Go ahead, Rob. Go ahead, Rob. No, no, you good, man. Go ahead.
Oh, I want to thank you for having me on your show. First of all, foremost, I appreciate you asking me for to be here. You know, like I say always, I get nervous when I first start off, but I kind of warmed up. You know, you always make me feel comfortable. And same too, True. Like when you had me on your show, I was kind of nervous at first, but you know, hang around some people that you're comfortable around. You know, it's definitely make you feel warm. You know, and being able to share to the people that have some similarities that understand what you've been through. You know, because it's definitely not easy to share some information to people who don't understand.
Mhm. That's for sure. Especially this. This is
Big
a kind of
facts.
like a touchy subject. Like this is very like being vulnerable to the fullest, especially about our babies and things that
Right.
is touchy. You know what I mean? This is not good or bad, but thank you so much. I appreciate you for being vulnerable. Like I said, you're amazing, Ra. Y'all make sure you guys favorite him. He's amazing. Got music, open mic, and workout. So, and his beard is on point. What? And he's a sorry. Hold on, am I still featured? Yeah, he's a sorry Dallas fan, by the way. Go ahead, Drew.
You knew she had to get that one in there. Oop. Hey, listen. So, February 11th at 9 p.m. Eastern in Top Badge DJ Joey Crack. We're having a Cipher of the Sexes, right? Which means that I'm going up against DJ Sunfire. She might be in here, she might not. But it's we're gonna play four different genres of music. But the twist to it is I can only play male songs. She can only play female songs. So it's yeah, Cipher of the Sexes, February 11th, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's on my IG, so if you want to follow me, you can see the dates and see everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So,
And then February 25th is my first event as a top badge. It's the inflatable dance off. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. I'm super excited. It's my first event as a top badge. So make sure you guys tune into that. So thank you guys so much for that. I'm excited about that. It's my only event as a top badge. So February 25th at 5 p.m. Eastern time. It's my first event as a top badge. So yes, it's gonna be featured. Yes, booyah. Bye. All
Good.
right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let the hot air release. So you guys already know. Thank you guys so much. Rah TrU, thank you. You guys make sure you guys favorite these two amazing people. Because I know you lying. Bye, y'all.